What's up, guys? Robert here, bringing you another episode of Robert's Roundup for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. So let's get started. So the big news today is the PlayStation 5 is hiking up their prices. So on August 21st, the Sony is hiking up the prices of all their current consoles of their digital, their Pro, and their original disc-based version. According to the PlayStation blog, Isabel Tomadas, the vice president of global marketing, said, "Similar to many global businesses, we continue to navigate a challenging economic environment. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price for PS5 consoles in the US starting on August 21st. The updated recommended retail price for the PS5 consoles are in the US are as follows. So the PlayStation 5 is going to be $549.99. The digital edition is going to be $499.99, and the Pro is going to be $749.99. That's a big jump. But she goes on to say that the recommended retail prices for the PS5 accessories remain unchanged, and no other price changes have been announced. So it makes me wonder, though. You got to imagine just recently, I think it was the last news cycle, PlayStation was touting about how many units they've sold. They've sold over 80 million. Their profits are going through the roof. Digital sales are doing well, and PlayStation Plus is doing well, and PlayStation's doing great. But now they come out saying that they're going to price hike. Do you think that it's because they are facing these difficult times and everybody is saying, oh, because of what's going on in the world, with tariffs and things like that, we have to kind of reevaluate what's going on? Or do you think that it might be just because Xbox is doing it and Nintendo is doing it and they want to get in on that profit? Because, you imagine if you sold 80 million units at your current price and you're coming in your financials that came out and you were saying, you're making money, you're making profits. You don't hear as many layoffs as like Xbox is doing. I think it's something bigger. I do not think it has anything to do with what's going on in the world. I think they want a piece like Nintendo and Xbox. So if you're a Sony fan, are you going to pick up another console? Like, I was planning on picking up a digital console, but now with the prices rising, I don't think I'm going to. But can you imagine, though? Somebody who wants to get a PS5 5 years down the road now with no games, they want to upgrade their PS4 to go back and play PS4 games, and they have to, maybe they want a digital version and they have to pay $500 for a digital version for just playing backwards compatibility games and nothing that is really, there's no games. And I don't think you can justify the fact that you can buy like Spider-Man 2, for instance, play it for 20 hours. You spent $70 on the game and you just played 20 hours of the game, you beat it. There's no replay value in that. Or, you think about Demon Souls is really the only game that you could replay for a while. Elden Ring, things like that. But a lot of these games is not out there that you can sink your teeth into. Like, you could do Final Fantasy Rebirth, but there are not a lot of RPG fans out there, so it just depends. But Sony needs more games. I think they need a more justifiable reason to be able to say, hey, this is why we're raising the price, Like, just be transparent, guys. But, let me know in the comments what you think. Of course, you're going to be disappointed because of the price increase, but are you planning on buying one now? I can't imagine somebody wanting to spend $750 on a Pro version. That's insane. But speaking of insane, our next news story is about Shawn Layden. You remember Shawn Layden? You saw him around the E3s before and, all the Sony press conferences. He's a former PlayStation executive. he was talking about Game Pass. Now, he came out recently in an article talking about how Game Pass, the developers are wage slaves, that he believes that if you put your game on Game Pass, like, you're not going to make any money off of it because you only make a certain amount during that time, and then it's not really taking off once it's off Game Pass. Like, if you released, let's say, God of War, for instance, and you come out there and God of War's there, day one, you pay the publisher however much, and, you end up, okay, so I made $1 million by putting it on Game Pass, but now I'm not making any money from the physical game. So putting your first party development games on there, and Shawn Layden's coming out and saying that, it's not good for Xbox. He actually, he went a step further and said that he envisions Xbox being like Sega with the Dreamcast. And he says during that time, remember, Sega was creating consoles, and now that they're in more of the publishing of doing, games of, Sonic and Persona and, a bunch of those games, he says he envisions Xbox doing that because, as we know, Xbox is starting to put their games on PlayStation. We recently saw, like, Forza Horizon going on the PlayStation. So he's saying that he sees that happening, and that Xbox is they're not more interested in kind of selling consoles. They're more interested in kind of selling like subscriptions and putting their games on everything. Kind of like why he brought up Sega. I mean, I think he does make a good point, because if you look at Game Pass, I mean, you could play some of the newer games that Xbox has, but then now, I mean, how long are you playing them for? You only play them for a certain time. But the good thing about Game Pass, though, it is cheaper. So it is, actually, you know what? I mean, it is cheaper however you see it. I don't think it is cheaper than PlayStation Plus now that I think of it. But yeah, I'm paying like $20 a month for Game Pass, and yeah, no, it's actually not cheaper. So no, he does make a good point. I think, you're playing Game Pass. You're playing, like, right now I'm playing Madden. EA's and the EA, their access kind of EA Play, whatever they call it, is in there. And so you play through that, you're done with it. Maybe like Expedition 33 was on there. You play through that game on there, and then you're pretty much like, what are you going to do? Like, you're pretty much done now, so you're not really going to buy the game after that. You've already experienced it. So that's why I think he made those comments. I think in a way he is correct. But do you also think it might just be because, he's a former PlayStation exec, and now he's just throwing shade at everybody because, he's a former PlayStation exec. So what's he going to lose, right? So, let me know your comments on that. What do you think? Do you think Shawn Layden's comments are correct, or do you think he's kind of just throwing shade at everybody because he can? So, let me know in the comments. I am curious to know how many of you guys have played Rune Factory Azuma. I know it's a Switch exclusive, but for you JRPG fans out there, I wanted to bring it up. The fact that they have now sold 500,000 copies digitally and physically. Now, I have yet to get my hands on this game. It's a little expensive on the Switch 2 right now, so I'm kind of hoping to be able to save my money for something else. But convince me, why should I play this game? 500,000 people have played it, bought it, gone through the game. Let me know. What is this game? How good is it? Is it good enough to be able to play? I just want to say, though, congrats to the Marvelous team. 500,000 copies. That's awesome for a game I haven't tried yet. So hopefully I'll be able to try it. And I actually played the Rune Factory on the PS3. I hope to be able to get that game. Was it Tides of Destiny? I think it is. Can't remember now. My brain's going. But I used to have it on PS3. I'm going to add it actually to my PS3 collection. So hopefully I sold it back in the day, but hopefully I remember playing through that game. It was good. So Rune Factory, Marvelous company. Congrats on 500,000. That is awesome to hear. And keeping up with this JRPG trend, did you hear about the East versus Sky crossover? So they're going to do a crossover fighting game. I guess this game came out, I want to say it was either on PSP, PlayStation, something like that, a long time ago. It was on the PSP, I believe it was. and it never came out to the States. So now they're releasing it, you know, giving it quality of life updates, things like that. And now there's reports saying that it's going to be delayed. So it's just going to be delayed a couple months. And according to the article, Falcom says that it's due to unforeseen circumstances. So my question through that is always, is it due to internal factors? Is it something that, you know, you're not done polishing the game, you want to kind of fix up different areas? Is it something maybe you lost funding for it? Like, for me, it's, hey, be transparent. Just say, hey, the game didn't come out like we wanted to. We want to polish it up for a couple months and we want to bring out the best product. I think that's the best way to be able to do it. But I don't know about you. I'm excited to play it. I am a fan of both series. East, I haven't checked out Nordics. I will probably check out Proud Nordics, play it on my Switch when it comes out. But also the Trail series, that's such a phenomenal game. I think everybody should try that, get through it. I know there's so many out there, but hey, you know what? It's awesome to be able to try and play it. So definitely be able to get your hands on that. And, you know, let me know what you think. If you're going to play that game, let me know. If you've played any of the East series, let me know what you think. You know, put your comments in there. Let me know. In the next news cycle, you know, we're going a little bit more JRPGs. Remember Shenmue 3 came out a couple years ago? It was a Kickstarter campaign and ended up getting funding because the creator of Shenmue 3 wanted to go and have a game for, you know, he created the first two and then it kind of stopped there. But now they're doing kind of a whole like remaster. It's giving you a quality of life kind of thing with it to be able to go and, you know, play it for modern consoles. So if you've never played the first Shenmue 3 on the PS4, are you going to get it now? What do you think? Have you played the series? Are you interested in the series? I have the collection and I have 3. I got through the collection a little bit, kind of trying to pick up the story. It's been years since I played it, so I kind of want to get back in there and play it again. But yeah, I mean, come check it out and you know, definitely see that game. If the remaster is going to be better than the original, maybe, hopefully, you know, we'll find out there. But I guess, you know, to wrap up this news cycle, I want to talk about Gamescom. If you remember Gamescom, they dropped Ghost of Yotei Legends. Now this trailer that they dropped, they were showing off the co-op and the multiplayer of the new Ghost of Yotei game that's coming out in October. Well, this multiplayer that they're going to have is coming out next year in 2026. And they dropped a trailer to be able to show off, kind of talk about it, new gameplay, kind of hype up the game until it comes out in October. But it was big with Ghost of Tsushima. That was big when you could play as the multiplayer and things like that. But you know, apparently it's going to have co-op and multiplayer, so maybe some 1v1 or something like that. I don't know. They didn't really talk too much of it, but they did drop art on what the enemies are going to look like. So, you know, if you take a look at the enemies, like, what do you think about this game? Are you guys excited for Ghost of Yotei? Have you pre-ordered it yet? Like, let me know your thoughts on it. I haven't pre-ordered it. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't been sold on Ghost of Yotei yet. So, like, if you want to sell me on it, let me know. I'm just curious to know, is it worth a pre-order? Or is it worth just waiting on it when it comes out next year and you could just play the Legends mode? So, I don't know about you, but I'm going to wait. I want to see more reviews on it before. I mean, the graphics look great, but it's just one of those that, like, it hasn't interest. It didn't interest me like Tsushima did, where I was like, oh man, I gotta play Tsushima. You know, I gotta play it on PS5, play it on PS4. But yeah, you know, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. So, should I pre-order it? Should I not? And you know, that about wraps up the news roundup this week. Let me know your thoughts on anything I talked about. Let me know if I should pre-order Ghost of Yotei. Convince me on why I should get it. But other than that, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. I do want to let you know I had a Wednesday video that came out where I talked about Cody Rhodes from WWE Wrestling. I'm sure you guys are wrestling fans, but he's going to play the new Guile in the Street Fighter movie that's coming out next year. So thoughts on that? I don't know. I've only seen him in the one other movie, and I mean, I don't know. So he doesn't really have acting in his resume, but I'm curious to know. I mean, Street Fighter, I'll probably see the movie because I am a Street Fighter fan. So I'm curious to know what that's going to be like. So that I talked about that a little bit on the next video, so check that out. I'm also in a weekly podcast, so definitely check out the weekly podcast with myself and Dark Knight 316, where we go over the latest gaming news, trends, culture, maybe a little bit of retro. We talk about from gamers who've been playing games for over 30 years, just our experiences, our thoughts, our opinions, bringing back truly what gaming is really meant to be when you report the news and you report your reactions. That's what our podcast is all about, and maybe a little bit of a loot box here and there. You'll find out when you watch, but definitely subscribe to the channel. It's going to be in the description, so check it out. Check out Dark Knight's channel. Be able to subscribe to his channel, as well as we have another channel that we're going to be doing weekly that is called Tackles and Takedowns, where we're going to go over WWE wrestling, maybe AEW, but wrestling, and also football, where we're going to give our self-proclaimed expert picks about this upcoming season, our MVPs, picks to see who's going to be able to win. Definitely rooting on for the Titans. So check out us each week giving our picks on who we think is going to be able to win, who's going to win the Super Bowl. Come hang out, give us your comments, your thoughts on football. Let us know your team. Definitely subscribe there. So, I just want to thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys for taking the time, sticking around to watch. God bless you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on that notification. Let me bring you guys the gaming news every single week. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. And remember, keep gaming. Thanks, guys.